The Vietnam War was more than just a conflict between North and South Vietnam. It was a regional crisis that engulfed neighboring countries. The war lasted for 2 decades, from 1955 to 1975. It drew in major world powers like the United States and the Soviet Union. The conflict reshaped the political landscape of Southeast Asia. The war's impact extended far beyond Vietnam's borders. It spilled over into Laos and Cambodia. These nations became unwilling participants in a larger geopolitical struggle. The conflict disrupted traditional ways of life. It forced millions to flee their homes. The war's effects would be felt for generations to come. The scale of the Vietnam War was unprecedented in the region. It involved millions of soldiers and civilians. The United States alone deployed over 2.7 million troops. The war saw the use of advanced military technology. The Vietnam War's reach extended far beyond its namesake country. Laos and Cambodia bore the brunt of extensive bombing campaigns. They aimed to cut off the Ho Chi Minh Trail. The bombings were intense and relentless. Laos became the most heavily bombed country per capita. Cambodia faced a similar fate, part of Operation Menu, authorized by President Nixon. The impact was catastrophic. As the bombs fell on Cambodia, political instability grew. The country's neutrality in the Vietnam War was shattered. The bombing campaign pushed many Cambodians towards extremism. It created fertile ground for radical ideologies. This environment gave rise to the Khmer Rouge, a communist guerrilla group. The Khmer Rouge, led by Pol Pot, gained support in rural areas. They promised a return to traditional Khmer values. They capitalized on anti-American sentiment. The group's ranks swelled with displaced farmers and angry youth. By 1975, as the Vietnam War ended, the Khmer Rouge seized power in Cambodia. The Khmer Rouge's rise was swift and brutal. They emptied cities, forcing urban dwellers into rural labor camps. They abolished money, private property and religion. The regime aimed to create a classless, agrarian society. The Khmer Rouge regime marked Cambodia's darkest period. The country was renamed Democratic Kampuchea, but there was nothing democratic about it. The regime imposed a radical form of agrarian communism. They forced the entire population into rural labor camps. These became known as the killing fields. Life under the Khmer Rouge was a nightmare. Families were torn apart. Children were separated from parents. The regime targeted anyone suspected of connections to the former government. They also persecuted intellectuals, professionals, and ethnic minorities. Even wearing glasses could mark someone as an enemy of the state. The regime's paranoia led to countless executions. The infamous S-21 prison, now the Tuol Sleng Genocide Museum, symbolizes this era. It was a former high school turned into a torture center. Of the estimated 17,000 people imprisoned there, only a handful survived. The prison's meticulous records provide chilling evidence of the regime's brutality. They stand as a testament to the victims and a warning to future generations. Section 5. The Slow Road to Recovery. After the fall of the Khmer Rouge, Cambodia faced enormous challenges. The country was in ruins. Its people were traumatized. The task of rebuilding seemed overwhelming. Progress was slow and often painful. But step by step, Cambodia began to recover. The 1980s saw continued conflict. Various factions fought for control. The Khmer Rouge remained active in some areas. International aid was limited due to Cold War politics. Despite these obstacles, Cambodians showed remarkable resilience. They began to rebuild their lives and communities. Small businesses reopened, farmers returned to their fields. The Paris Peace Accords of 1991 marked a turning point. They paved the way for democratic elections. The United Nations Transitional Authority in Cambodia, or UNTAC, arrived. It helped establish a new government. In 1993, Cambodia held its first free elections in decades. This marked the beginning of a new era. Cambodia is slowly reclaiming its place in the world. Section 6. Preserving Cultural Heritage. Despite the devastation of war and genocide, Cambodia's rich cultural heritage endures. The country is home to some of the world's most impressive ancient temples. Angkor Wat, built in the 12th century, is the largest religious monument in the world. It stands as a testament to the greatness of the Khmer Empire. Preserving these sites has become a national priority. The task of conservation is enormous. Many temples suffered damage during the conflict, some were looted, others were neglected for years. Today, international teams work alongside Cambodian experts. They use cutting-edge technology to restore and protect these treasures. Their efforts ensure that future generations can experience Cambodia's cultural legacy. Traditional arts and crafts are being revived. Apsara dance, once performed in the royal courts, is now celebrated nationwide. Silk weaving, pottery and silversmithing are thriving. These traditional crafts provide livelihoods and preserve cultural knowledge. Section 7. Modern Cambodia Challenges and Progress. Today's Cambodia is a nation of contrasts. Phnom Penh, the capital, boasts gleaming skyscrapers, but poverty remains widespread in rural areas. The economy has grown rapidly in recent years, but the benefits have not been evenly distributed. Cambodia faces the challenge of balancing development with equity. Education is a key focus for development. During the Khmer Rouge era, schools were closed and teachers targeted. Rebuilding the education system has been a priority. Literacy rates have improved significantly. More children are attending school, but challenges remain. Rural areas often lack quality schools, and higher education is still developing. Healthcare has seen significant improvements. Child mortality rates have dropped. Life expectancy has increased, but the system still faces challenges. Many rural areas lack access to quality healthcare. Malnutrition remains a problem in some regions. Mental health services are limited. The country continues to work on expanding healthcare access. Section 8. The Scars of War Unexploded Ordnance. One of the most enduring legacies of the Vietnam War is unexploded ordnance, or UXO. Millions of bombs dropped on Cambodia and Laos failed to detonate. They remain buried in fields, forests and riverbeds. These hidden dangers continue to claim lives and limbs decades after the war's end. The scale of the problem is staggering. In Cambodia, it's estimated that up to 6 million unexploded munitions remain. Laos faces an even greater challenge. Up to 80 million cluster munitions may still litter the country. These weapons pose a daily threat to farmers, children and development projects. Efforts to clear these deadly remnants are ongoing. International organizations work alongside local teams. They use metal detectors and trained dogs to locate UXO. The work is slow, dangerous and expensive. At current rates, it could take centuries to clear all the unexploded ordnance. But every cleared field means lives saved and land reclaimed. Section 9. Environmental concerns in a developing nation. As Cambodia develops, it faces growing environmental challenges. Deforestation is a major concern. Cambodia has one of the highest deforestation rates in the world. Illegal logging threatens biodiversity. It also impacts local communities that depend on forest resources. The government has pledged to increase forest cover, but progress has been slow. Water issues are becoming more pressing. The Mekong River is Cambodia's lifeline. But upstream dams in China and Laos are altering its flow. This affects fish populations and agriculture. Climate change is exacerbating these problems. Droughts and floods are becoming more frequent and severe. Cambodia is working to adapt, but the challenges are significant. Urbanization is creating new environmental pressures. Cities like Phnom Penh are growing rapidly. This growth often outpaces infrastructure development. Waste management is a particular challenge. Many urban areas lack proper sewage systems. Garbage collection is inconsistent. Plastic pollution is becoming more visible in cities and coastal areas. Section 10. Cambodia's Resilient Spirit, Hope for the Future. Cambodia's journey from tragedy to development is a testament to human resilience. Its people have shown remarkable strength and determination. Today's Cambodia is defined by its aspirations for the future. Over 65% of the population is under 30. They're starting businesses, pursuing education, and engaging in civic life. Cambodia's cultural renaissance is another source of hope. It's fostering national pride and healing old wounds.